Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today is the 30th of April, 2025, and I am absolutely delighted. It's the 100 Pounders today, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Rebecca A. Rebecca is from the UK. She came to OA in 2020. She now lives in a beautiful place called Lee-on-Sea, and I'm going to hand it over to her to share her story. Rebecca, my love, take it away.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca, compulsive overeater. Yeah, grateful to be here with you all. Um, yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to share and asking me to do service. It's a real privilege. And if it hadn't been for those who shared their stories and their recovery, I wouldn't have heard that it worked for me. So yeah, it's really wonderful to do exactly the same thing. Um, I do have some pictures, but I'm not co-host. Um, but like maybe towards the end, I might be, and I'll share them. I am co-host now. Great stuff. Um, but yeah, so I can share some pictures, but I am a compulsive overeater, as I've just shared. And I didn't really know I was a compulsive overeater. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that from a young age, as young as I could remember, food was like a big deal. It was the kind of main article in the room and the focus for me. And yeah, and my weight also was something to kind of think about and be a little bit different from others. Um, and in coming into the fellowship, I realized that, like, for us, that's very commonplace, and for other people, it's not quite the case. It's not quite the case. The birthday is about presents and the this happened and the experiences, and not the cake and the jelly and the this and the that, and how much of it I had, and then I got a bit more, and then I was able to get this, and then when they all went I had more. you know but that was my experience, from as far back as I could remember. um, so while I'm not special and different, I know that my body and my mind, something quite different happens when I ingest certain things, and therefore, I was always up against it because I didn't really know, and you don't know what you don't know. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take this moment now to just invite my higher power in, because ultimately my recovery became all about that, and it has been all about that, and that ended up being the solution. So yeah, God, please help me to have something useful to share today. um, yeah, your will, not mine, be done. But so I was talking about my far back memories of kind of food and weight. So, like, it had all the hallmarks of going up, going down, mostly going up weight, um, kind of for years and years, and trying this out, that not working, or working for a time, and trying laxatives, and that could be a solution, but it wasn't. Trying to, if I'm all into exercise and fitness, but I wasn't that person, and it just didn't work. Trying to be like my friends, trying to be like other people, um, to the point where I was very unhappy in myself in my kind of young adulthood, and I didn't really know why. What I've come to learn now is that there are many reasons why I was unhappy, but after time, I found that a solution was the food. Going to the food became a solution to the difficulty of not understanding people, uh, kind of not understanding relationships, having difficulty with that, having difficulty just in my head, being at peace, not knowing where I was, what I was doing. The solution to anything became the food, even like minor disturbances, just like have a hard day. Food was a solution, it was a comfort, and it was, you know, as I said, a main fixture in the room. So why not? And all the trappings of it, I think. Yeah, like many people who are compulsive overeaters, I enjoyed entertaining with food and having people over and having food. And for me, it was more about, yeah, the food and what we are going to have. And, you know, as opposed to, I guess, the people around, it was more about the people and the experience and the interaction. But, that didn't quite occur to me, just because that's where I was at. Um, So yeah, coming into this program, I was, um, obese, overweight, struggling with my health, having like difficulties with my walking. I really like walking. I really liked walking. But being in that kind of bigger body, my joints were kind of starting to kind of play up. And that was like before my time. I wasn't like in my 80s and having difficulties with that. I was a relatively young person who should be like enjoying everything. But because of this disease, that wasn't necessarily the case. Um, yeah, I have, like many of us, have the wardrobe of like five different people where I've got these kind of massive sizes, mostly in dark colors. And I have this one like aspirational small thing that, I never wear, I never get to wear, and everything in between. And it would take me hours to kind of, if I was invited to like a birthday or something, it would take me ages to get up and go and get to it, because what am I going to wear? I'm so much bigger than last time, and I don't care anyway, but I do care. Um, yeah, just decision making was just so difficult, and nothing felt quite right. I guess my instinct was to kind of hide, and often maybe I didn't even make it to the birthday party or whatever. I didn't make it out to whatever it was to meet for a coffee. Um, and poor me, because I didn't get that cake that I was going to have while I met for the coffee. But yeah, a lot of self pity and an awful lot of isolation, because yeah, I didn't feel safe in my skin, and I wasn't in control of what was going on. And the things I tried, they didn't quite work, and then that left that feeling of being depleted and feeling a bit useless, because why can't I get this thing that other people seem to get? And it just eluded me. But I didn't know that I was powerless. I didn't I didn't I wasn't aware of this kind of idea of step one. Step one is that I'm powerless over food, is that I don't have any control. And today I can say that very easily and with acceptance in my heart. And even though, yeah, I'm restored to health and sanity in a lot of ways, I still accept that as a reality. I take my step one every single day. I need help. I can't do it on my own. And like the food is just the beginning of the areas that I'm actually, powerless over. But though I realized I was powerless, and I realized I was having lots of difficulties, and yeah, the self-esteem was down in the gutter, but the ego was still trying to, like, but I'm someone. It's this kind of thing of being like, very small and very big at the same time. I was grappling with that. Um, yeah, I didn't really know what the solution was yet. Um, Also, I'll talk briefly about, like, yeah, I had a relationship that I was in, still through my disease, through gaining lots of weight and having difficulty and being in this kind of desperate headspace. But I would describe that as being on tenterhooks, being very tense. And I was lucky enough to have a partner who was very compassionate towards that. And maybe he didn't know what was going on either, but like, thank God, one day at a time kind of stuck with me through that difficulty I was having. Um, but yeah, like, a family member, someone close to me, had recovery in 12 steps. And so I was aware that, oh, that was something that people did. It really works. And yeah, good on you, those kind of AA guys, whatever. So I was aware of that, but I didn't know that I was an alcoholic or that would be for me. And I think at some point I actually was sat down with and to read To Wives from the Big Book. I have no recollection of this whatsoever, which probably I don't remember, and I don't remember how it related to me either. So, obviously I was in the disease. And things like that make me have a lot of compassion for. I work with, as many of us do, who want to keep our recovery, work with lots of sponsees, sometimes for like a day or two, sometimes for months, sometimes for years, but like many, many people. And I'm grateful for that because it keeps me well. Um, but like, often it can feel a bit like, oh, I wonder why this person hasn't got this and why they haven't got that. It's like, it took me years. It took me years. I completely like blinkered to a solution. So I definitely am someone who kind of believes that, you're ready when you're ready. And that's whenever that is, whenever your higher power and you come to that. And, the only thing I wish for people is that hopefully it comes, that day comes sooner rather than later. Um, and until that day comes, there might be a little bit of suffering or more suffering to do. But like eventually that day came for me. So yeah, this person had recovery. It was the beginning of like starting with like pandemics, lockdowns, and I was really nervous about how that would affect me, just being like with all of that tension and anxiety. And and my solution, the food, I knew that things would go from pretty bad to kind of awful. um so yeah, I did a little search, and it's like, oh, there's a fellowship for food. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose because I'm depressed, I'm kind of obese, and I'm feeling desperate, and yeah, this has taken over my life. So why not try? Why not give it a try? And that was a real gift. So I came to my first meeting. I heard someone share. Uh, yeah, and I recognized what they were talking about. I recognized the feelings. I recognized the attachment. Um, I recognized this idea of having like a friend in the food, a comforting friend in the food that turns on you. And actually, it's destroying my life. It was destroying my life, but it was also the comfort that I knew. I recognized that. Um, and yeah, she was from a different place from me. She's a different race, probably different jobs, different age group, all different. But like I was like, okay, yeah, you're like me. We're like the same. And I took the number, I took a number, and I tentatively gave her a call. And she was the person who put me in touch with my first sponsor. And we worked the steps. We worked the steps. And I did what I was told. I did what she recommended me to do. And yeah, thank God, one day at a time that I didn't put up too much resistance. There were a lot of things that I was told to do that I didn't really understand at the time. I find a food plan. Yeah, I've tried diets, they don't work. Um, but this was different because this time I was working the steps. And also this time I had a new kind of realization that there are some things that I'm very, very sensitive to, and they just have to be a no no. Um, Before the meeting, I kind of wrote down half measures availed us nothing. That's from the big book. And yeah, I think that that was very much testament to today and to my early recovery. I kind of had to throw myself in and just be like, yeah, sure. Go to meetings, you say? I'll get there. I'll get to some meetings. Speak to people. Don't know what I'm going to say to them, but I'll call. Take down numbers. I don't know if they want to hear from me, but fine. Share on the meeting. Lord knows what I'm saying half the time, but I'll share. Um, get to step 2, where I'm starting to build a relationship with a higher power. Okay, okay. This was, yeah, pivotal in my recovery, because obviously I didn't have enough power to keep me out of those foods, or enough power to keep me out of the mental traps which lead me to the food, the terrible self-pity, the low self-esteem, the poor me, everything is awful, or the oh, they don't even like me anyways, that get me to that state, that frenzied state. Or sometimes don't even notice. It could just be a tired state or exhausted state, where somehow those things that I know will kill me become appealing, right? I don't have the power to stay out of that state. I don't have the power to stay out of the food. So what am I going to do? And that's like where step 2 comes in. I needed to, for myself, find that power. It had to be bigger than me. It had to be care enough about me to keep me well and safe. It had to be accessible. Um, yeah, and it had to be different from what I already had, because if that was enough, I wouldn't have this problem. Um, so yeah, yeah, that became my work, and to this day, that is the work that I have to do. I have to kind of be in a relationship with a power greater than myself, and I have to nurture that relationship like I would the one with my partner or friends or family or anyone that I want to kind of be in with. I've got to nurture it. Um, but like, luckily, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult to get into a relationship with a higher power, because it's very personal to you or me, you know. And it's a one day at a time thing. It's not like, oh, I need to perfectly get higher power. There's no such thing as that. It's That's like saying, oh, you need to live your life perfectly. Like, what is that anyway? um but yeah, but it's on my radar as something that I want to do and I want to grow into and nurture. And yeah, so I did that in many ways. um Book recommendations, like I read our daily readers. um, I sat down and I looked at, well, what do I want a high power to be? What do I want a high power to do for me? Where am I at? I did a lot of writing in myself, like in the mornings. Um, quiet time, that, not meaning to skip forward, but that kind of step 11 sort of work, where we kind of make time to consciously connect with a higher power, that became something really important and enjoyable. And I realized from quite early on that I need to enjoy it in order to do it. If it feels like, oh, I've got to do my meditation now and I'm ticking boxes, it would have dropped away. But I just was like, well, what am I into? I like music. Music is a nice way for me to engage with my higher power, to get quiet somehow, or I'm not a big writer, but like a little bit is nice. So things like two-way prayer became something that I could adapt. I can kind of work with this. um yeah, I and I still do it. Like, the money I would spend buying this such food and this such treat, da la la, I kind of diverted that to, maybe I'll get a new piece of literature, OA literature, or like a little meditation book, um, things like that that might make it nice, or a nice new notebook. Just little kind of top line things that weren't food related that actually nurtured my recovery. But yeah, so step two. And yeah, that was really pivotal. And yeah, we swiftly worked through all of those steps. Um, yeah, step three also kind of pivotal. I mean, they're all incredible, but like, making that decision, and again, daily making that decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of that higher power now, and be like, you know what, Becky, you're sacked. You're sacked as being the boss of my life. You're all right, but you're kind of, meh. I'm going to adopt this higher power instead, and see where it takes me. And I'm going to be kind of like a child, and I'm going to trust that it's good, and that good things can happen to me and healing can happen. Why not me? If it was this person that I heard on the meeting, why not me? You know, and taking that, and having the taking that kind of humble stance of, well, here I am. Okay, what does the day lead to? Show me how to kind of like do this then. And I think something happens when you open your kind of heart like that, that I think you never ever get a no. I think you always get a response that is kind of loving and kind when we have that kind of openness and vulnerability. I think, yeah, we talk about it in a roundabout way, but like, recovery really is, for me, has been a journey of becoming more vulnerable, learning that it's safe to be vulnerable and safe to open your heart in that way, because you're going to be safe. And I think perhaps a big part of me didn't feel safe. That's why the food was that kind of cushion. And yeah, it's really scary. Like, it is a bit scary when you've got, like, if you're 100 pounder, you've got a lot of weight to lose, because like, it's like you've been a different person. Like, in pictures I look back, it's like I'm really different. So to kind of be open to, okay, well, I'm just going to go where my higher power wants me to go, and I'm trusting my body to my higher power that, take me where I need to be healthy and well, and of service to others, and to be useful. Um, so quite quickly that became a prayer, because I guess, yeah, like, I, like many people, was obsessed with like how I looked to my weight. So another big step in surrender was to be like, well, I'm just going to trust God with how I look, and I'm going to trust my higher power with what that number needs to be, and help me be of maximum service. Help me be of maximum service. And I know that where I am right now, I don't feel that well. There's limits to what I can do. So, there's that. I know I need to lose some weight, but like, in terms of where that's going to be, I trust my higher power. And that often is a real tonic for me. If I get into that kind of like headspace where my disease tries to kind of manipulate things again, it's like, actually, I'm trusting God with my body. Um, Now I am on my second pregnancy in recovery, and like, I trust my body completely to my higher power. I trust that it will do it. I trust my higher power to help me do what I need to do right now. um and that is so soothing. It's so calming. And and I've been safe. I've been safe one day at a time. I've yeah, nurtured my little one and breastfed him, and my body was healthy. I looked like all the other mums, and it's like miraculous. you know One day at a time, because like, as much as I obviously have a responsibility to take care of my food, and I weigh and measure, and I exercise and this kind of thing, it's not my will that's driving this. I'm trusting higher power. I get advice. I ask the nutritionist. I ask people about this and that and whatnot. And yeah, and also maybe the drive is a bit different. In order to keep my recovery, I had to get my head out of me, the drama of me, and all of that self pity. And my life had to become about, yeah, being of maximum service. Um, so yeah, that's part of it. Like I take care of my body to take care of my body because it's wonderful and it's a gift, but also because I want to be useful in the world. And yeah, my higher power, yeah, there's higher power's will out there, and in order to do that, I need to I need to be well to do it, I need to be well. In order to be here today and carry a message, I guess I needed to be well to carry a message. So it all kind of
5 more minutes, Rebecca.
five. Okay, that's a million. I'll see if I am able to. Okay, I think I found the file, and then I'm maybe share my screen. Bear with me a second. Okay, you can see that, can't you? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's me on a holiday. And it was a lovely holiday. But yeah, I don't have that. I do have pictures, but like not loads and loads. Oh no, it's sideways, sorry. Oh, I did it really quickly. I didn't love taking pictures, but they're mostly holidays because on a holiday you take the picture, right? Um, oh yeah, and this is like I don't know, like in recovery. It's in recovery, also on holiday, and yeah, present and of service, and feeling well, and feeling good. Uh, yeah, and that was just as I came into recovery, so April 2020. Um, yeah, just in my old house. Okay, and I think that's all I had really. Oh, it's the same one again. Sorry. Yeah. So I always like it when people show pictures because it just for my brain to kind of like really kind of see as well that it's like wow, something really different has happened. Not because I'm special and different. I'm God's kid like everyone else here, and I worked the steps, and I made that a priority. The other thing that I wrote down, because I know I don't have that long, is God is either everything or nothing. What was my choice to be? And yeah, that is my choice every single day. And if God is everything, I do all my step work. I try and actively make conscious contact with a higher power. When God is everything, I'm subtracting myself from situations. I'm thinking about how I can be useful, thinking about how I can offer a bit of a balm in a situation, how I can be the balm, how I can soothe, how I can be useful. When God is everything, I am useful. Because when I was in my disease, I was awful and this and all that drama, you know, that is not really useful actually. When God is everything, I just show up to my job and I do it. And I might get in my head a little bit, like recently I was getting in my head about work and stuff. And then I realized that, oh, my job is just to show up and be one of many. When God is everything, I'm one of many. I'm loved and I'm cherished, but I'm one of many. I'm kind of right sized, you know. When God is nothing, I'm constantly in existential crisis. And the solution is, yeah, the food. The solution is find something to soothe me. When God is everything, I can soothe. I've got a gift to soothe. I can be useful. And yeah, I think I think I will leave it there just because I need to blow my nose.
Oh, Rebecca, thank you so much. What a message of depth and weight. And I just was reminded of the very last paragraph in Dr. Bob's Nightmare. It just talks about the stuff you've spoken about. It says if you think you're an atheist, an agnostic or skeptic, or have any other form of intellectual pride which keeps you from accepting what is in this book. That's the big book. I've got my mini one here today. I feel sorry for you. If you still think you're strong enough to beat the game alone, that is your affair. But if you really and truly want to stop eating compulsively or quit drinking liquor for good and all, and sincerely feel that you must have some help, we know that we have an answer for you. It never fails. If you go about it with one half of the zeal that you have been in the habit of showing when you were getting another drink, your Heavenly Father, higher power of God, will never let you down.